Those in favour? Thank you. I've received no declarations of interest, so we'll move into public participation, and I would assume that everyone here has mowed their way through the 800-page agenda and knows exactly where it's all is at. So I'd like to invite Lydia Thomas, who will speak on behalf of Life and Vacant Spaces, please. Welcome.
Kia ora koutou. Thank you for the opportunity to update you on the incredible work of Life and Vacant Spaces, or Lives in the Central City. I'm Lydia, I'm the current director of Lives, and this is Linda. She's a volunteer trustee, and I'm thrilled to share our impact and future plans with you. Established in 2012, Life and Vacant Spaces is a charitable trust with a mission to connect owners of vacant land and buildings with individuals and groups with big ideas. We broker spaces for community projects, creative endeavours, social enterprises and startups, fostering a city where creative knows no bounds. Our core mission as placemaking experts is to cultivate a vibrant, sustainable and prosperous Ōtautahi. In essence, Lives isn't just facilitators of vacant spaces, we are the architects of growth, mentors of creativity and champions of resilience and a thriving Ōtautahi. Lives is a charitable trust kindly funded by the Christchurch City Council with 8 volunteer trustees and 1 FDE. Over the years, we've supported over 1,000 projects contributing to economic growth, personal well-being, community engagement and cultural opportunities. Lives collaborates with key partners like Christchurch City Council, Gap Filler, Watch the Space, Rad Bikes and more to open up spaces valued at approximately 180 million for community use. Our recent stats for our current multi-year funding report for the Christchurch City Council from September 2021 to February this year, Lives has licensed 91 projects with 20,000 days of activation. Lives currently manages 21 licensed sites, including 5 inside sites, 16 outside, 13 central city, and 8 suburban sites. During this period, we received over 280 inquiries and counting, showcasing a continued interest in our services. While not all of these lead to spaces or sites, we still spend a large part of our time supporting many of these individuals with relevant resources, mentoring, and valuable information that helps them on their journeys. Some of these projects you may have spotted around the central city and suburbs. Lives proudly brokers the sites. The basketball courts, a temporary project that relocated due to popular demand. The Lives Incubator Project, a 20-foot container in the central city, serving as a testing ground for various projects, including skateboarding competitions, podcasts, tarot readings, and much more. Common Ground, a community hub in South New Brighton, created for food, music, art, and gardening. The Gap Filler Dance-O-Mat, a coin-operated ex-laundromat washing machine, transformed a dynamic dance space in the central city. Lives values project evaluation, recognizing that it's as important as the projects themselves. Participants appreciate the streamlined process, the legal agreement, the legal support and enthusiasm from Lives bringing their initiatives. This is a couple of examples of some feedback that we've had. Thank you. I'm so grateful. You're important to the community of Ōtautahi, a wholesome experience, and long may your mahi continue. These are just examples of the drive we maintain to continue our mahi. Our ongoing plans for the future of Life and Vacant Spaces, we want to continue to collab with neighbourhoods developments to activate transitional spaces and integrate creative design early in the development stages. This involves methodically collecting data on vacant spaces across wider Christchurch suburbs for strategic activation. The Grow and Go model, this plan embodies our commitment to nurturing projects and fostering community growth. It guarantees a seamless match between projects and vacant spaces, guiding initiatives from temporary status to independence. And we will continue to provide personal mentoring, offering valuable advice, building an expansive network and community, and facilitating resource sharing to nurture and support local initiatives. Life and Vacant Spaces stands as a testament to the transformative power community-driven initiatives. We committed to fostering creativity, diversity, and positivity change in Ōtautahi Christchurch. Thank you, and we're open to any questions you may have.
Right, you've got time for one question. Councillor Donovan had a hand up first. Thank you.
First, just a comment. I just want to say you guys have done such a fantastic job, and we really appreciate it across the city. And there's been some great projects out in the east. With Common Ground has been a massive success, and I'd say that's been a real change in the usage of the wider space. And the other one, of course, is the Makere Market, which has been fantastic. I just wanted to question if you can speak about any of your future projects.
There's a couple up our sleeves, some that we can't mention, but are quite big and hopefully going to be quite impactful for the future of Ōtautahi. But that's under wraps currently.
Okay.
But
Look forward to hearing more. Thank you.
Yeah. And I've got some books as well that are a lovely read. Thanks.
Kia ora.
Okay,
Kia ora.
thank you very much. Wonderful presentation. Hello. In the nick of time. Next we have David Lynch, who will speak on regarding Hagley Park tree safety concerns. Welcome, David.
Could I get a glass of water, Mr. Mayor?
Certainly.
Please.
Only if you give it back.
I will.
Yeah. I have my man on it.
What's that? Yanni.
Anytime
Mayor,
you're ready, mate.
Thank you. It's been a little bit of a rush, unfortunately, to get here. And unfortunately, Julie Abraham, who's going to join me, couldn't make it, but has sent me something just recently to read out. But
And just so, before we go any further, I just understand that you are going to take her time as well.
yes, but
Okay.
look, just before you start the clock, I just wish...
The clock is already...
Okay, well, the clock started, that's fine. I'll read this brief protocol matter out, Mr. Mayor, for you, just to clarify why I sought some additional time. Before I comment, I just want to raise the important procedural matter concerning standing orders that, although I've requested an additional time to speak this morning on matters that I consider are significant and require some questions probably from councillors, I tend to find the 5 minutes that is allocated is disappointing in respect of some matters that are relatively significant and urgent, require time to carefully consider, time to present in a reasonable manner, not rushed, and also time, I think, for allowing councillors to ask questions. And I think that, as I've indicated to you, there is provisions in your standing orders to suspend standing orders to allow an extension. And although I appreciate, Mr. Mayor, respectfully, you've suggested that 5 minutes is only available now, I'd like to suggest that it would not be unreasonable to ask whether councillors wish to provide an extension of time in accordance with the standing orders.
Yeah, go as fast as you can, mate, because you've got Julie's time and what's left of yours.
Okay, well, I'll do my best, but I'm going to read it slowly this time, Mr. Mayor, not be rushed if you don't mind. I wish to bring to your attention a matter obviously of utmost concern regarding the safety of Hagley Park and to visitors, and particularly cyclists and pedestrians. Recent events have underscored the pressing need for an urgent audit of trees within Hagley Park to prevent potential hazards and ensure the well-being of all park users. On March the 3rd, 2024, I narrowly escaped what some have said is a life-threatening incident when I was cycling through Hagley Park. Heard an alarming sound behind me and observed a large thud as a branch came dangerously down. Well, thankfully I'm here today to tell you about it. This experience has troubled me greatly, and I feel it's important to, under urgency, bring this to your attention. Some of your obligations in respect to these matters that clearly are not being addressed in my view and the view of others. The incident is not an isolated occurrence. Almost exactly a year ago, a 70-year-old tourist was struck by a branch, and such incidents highlight the urgent need for a proactive approach by this council to address the safety of trees within Hagley Park. As someone who cycles through the park daily, I've observed increasing numbers of caution tape markings indicating fallen branches, raising concerns about the health and stability of trees. There have been instances where tree limbs have snapped off and remain suspended over pathways, sometimes up to 3 weeks, with just simply some tape around them. Totally unacceptable. In light of these concerns, I'm urging the council to conduct an immediate and comprehensive audit of trees within Hagley Park. The audit should be carried out according to advice I've received by a qualified arborist or relevant experts to identify any potential hazards and mitigate the risk to public safety. I understand that the council has an existing protocol for tree maintenance inspections as outlined by Ms. Lynn McClelland, Assistant Chief Executive and Head of the Strategic Planning and Policy. However, recent revelations, as reported in last Saturday's press, from an asset management maturity assessment dated October 2023 suggests there may be shortcomings in the current inspection regime, which raises concerns around the frequency and the adequacy of the health inspection of trees. I've sought some initial legal opinion around this. Number one, there's a duty of care. The council, as the custodians of Hagley Park, owes a duty of care to the public to maintain the park in a safe condition. The duty encompasses the regular inspection and maintenance of trees to prevent foreseeable harm to park users. Negligence. The failure of the City Council to conduct timely and comprehensive audits of trees within Hagley Park constitutes negligence. The Council's reliance on ad hoc inspections, as revealed in the Asset Management Maturity Assessment dated October 2023, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, falls short of internationally accepted best practices and exposes park users to unnecessary risk. 3, precedent and regulatory compliance. The Council's own protocols, as articulated by Ms. Lynn McClelland, clearly mandate regular inspections of trees, particularly those within the standards as evidenced by the aforementioned assessments, indicates a failure to comply with these obligations. In light of this, I am recommending strongly to this council today an immediate and comprehensive audit of all trees in Hagley Park by qualified arborists or relevant experts. Immediate implementation of a regular and systematic inspection regime for trees within Hagley Park in accordance with the internationally accepted best practice. 3, the adoption of proactive measures to mitigate the risk of falling branches, including but not limiting the pruning, cabling and removal of hazardous trees where necessary. And 4, disclosure of the Council's plans and budget allocations for tree maintenance and safety initiatives within Hagley Park. In conclusion, the safety of Hagley Park users, including cyclists, pedestrians and visitors, is paramount. The near misses I've experienced serves as a poignant reminder of the urgent need for proactive measures to identify and address the potential hazards within the park. An immediate audit of the Hagley Park trees, followed by the implementation of robust maintenance protocols, is essential to fulfil this council's duty of care and legal obligations and ensure the continued enjoyment for all those that go through Hagley Park. I've got some images here. I don't know if one of the staff can just flick through these quickly. Just the last one was a gentleman that nearly died a few years ago, the year before last, when that branch fell on his bike. Now, that concludes my address, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if anyone has any questions or whether I've run out of time.
You've still got 2 minutes left because you're using Julie's stuff, so if you want to...
Well, shall I leave the questions for the end? Would that be easiest? read Julie's submission out and allow questions.
Yeah, well, be quick with Julie's submission, because otherwise you won't have time for questions.
That's fine.
Thank you.
I'll need to come back and talk about these protocols, Mr. Mayor, some other time perhaps. This is from Julie McClelland. I've got to know Julie through my involvement with the CTV families over 13 years. When she heard about the situation, she felt compelled to provide some endorsement. I will ensure that Julie's letter does get circulated to you, but unfortunately I've only got one copy this morning. As a resident deeply affected by the tragic events of February 2011 earthquake, I wish to express my full support for the urgent call made by Mr. Lynch regarding the need for a comprehensive audit of the trees within Hagley Park. The recent incident involving last Thursday's fallen branch serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers lurking in our green spaces around the city. My mother was one of the unfortunate victims who lost her life in the collapse of the CTV building during the devastating earthquake. It is a painful reality that, according to experts in the earthquake engineering, had the CTV building been appropriately assessed by the council following the September 2010 earthquake, lives may have been spared. 13 years later, it's disheartening to witness what appears to be a failure by the council to adequately ensure the safety of all those who cycle and walk around Hagley Park each day. The tragic loss of the lives of the CTV building collapse should have served as a wake-up call for our City Council to prioritise safety measures and implement stringent protocols to prevent similar disasters. It is unacceptable that over a decade later we're still grappling with issues of safety and oversight. I wholeheartedly endorse Mr. Lynch's efforts to bring to your attention the pressing need for a thorough audit of the trees, the increasing examples of safety tape, fallen branches, and instances where trees have fallen, left hanging on pathways is alarming and an indicator of potential hazards that should be addressed without delay. The Council's assurances, as Mr. Lynch has outlined, clearly indicates that something that should be done isn't being done. In conclusion, I urge this Council to heed the calls for action and prioritise the safety of our community by conducting a comprehensive audit of trees within Hagley Park. Let us honour the memory of those we have lost by taking proactive measures to prevent future tragedies.
Thank you very much. You're right on time now. I'm going to get Andrew Rutledge just to respond to what we're doing with trees in the park, and I think it'll allay a lot of the things that you've brought up. Thank you, Andrew.
Excuse me, thank you, and thank you for the presentation. So Council does have a fully qualified, highly respected arborist that inspects trees regularly, weekly walkarounds. We have all the best practice protocols both within our contract and in terms of how we assess. What I'm going to suggest is that we produce a full information report for Council on how we manage trees, not just in Hagley Park, but in other high pedestrian intensity areas within the city, and provide a full report to Council for consideration.
Okay, thank you very much. That's good. And then that will be released out to the public.
It'll be in the public.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, mate. Good on you.